Guys, so today I'm going to teach you how to make some homemade applesauce. You can use whatever apples you have on hand. I have a mixed variety. This one here is out of a package called Envy. They didn't actually say what kind of an apple it is, but... And this is, I believe, is a Macintosh. And we have some Honey Crisps here. And so we're going to go ahead and wash them, rinse them, and then peel them. Okay, so while this is rinsing a little, I'll tell you that normally I'd leave, if you have, okay, not normally, but if you have organic apples, you know, that is free from pesticide spray, you can go ahead and use them without taking the skin off. But these ones here came from the store, and, you know, I don't know if they were sprayed or not. A lot of times you can tell by if they're shiny. If they're shiny, they have sort of like a wax that they put on to preserve them. I don't think nobody wants to eat that. So that's the only reason I'm taking the skins off of them. But otherwise, you can leave the skins on. But make sure we're going to core them and take the seeds out, because those are poisonous. You don't want to ever eat an apple seed. Okay, so I find it easier to use a peeler. Some people can use a paring knife, but it's easier to use a peeler and just peel them. And this is all I do. You can see that. That's how I do it. Just peel it up. Ooh, sometimes they get away from you. This one here is a little one, but he'll be good. Okay, go ahead and peel all your apples, and then we'll take you to the next step. Okay, so now once you're peeled all your apples, the next step you're going to do is go ahead and take the seeds out. And so all I do is get a knife, and I give it a cut right through the middle, and you can do it by cutting like pieces off. And that's kind of how I do it. And then you'll see as you're cutting it, there's a little seed in here. You just get that out. See how it is? Just take your knife and run it through, and then you can come this way and cut it down in. Pretty simple. Now you're going to just go ahead and do that to all your apples. Just go ahead and get all your seeds out. You can replant them if you want to make apple trees. But I'm sure that'll take a long time. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut them up. You can cut them like this. You can cut them in chunks. It really doesn't matter, just as long as you get them cut. I guess the smaller they are, the quicker they'll cook, so we'll go ahead and do some chunks. But you don't have to do this step if you don't want to. I'll tell you, those apples, I had apples that I had got off of a tree. It was a crab apple tree. And I made a crab apple pie. And I also canned up some crab apple butter. Oh, was that good. Well, I didn't get to try the apple butter. Well, it's been canning. You know, I mean, it canned it. So there's like 4 or 5 jars of that that it got. But... it was delicious in the pot. I tried it before I canned it. Oh, so good. Apple butter. Everybody's got apples this time of year. So there you go. That's all you do is cut them in little chunks, or you can leave them like I showed you in strips. And then we'll go to the next step. Okay guys, so the next step is just go ahead and put your stove on and get it nice and hot. And then you're going to go ahead and put your apples on, and you're going to go ahead and turn it from high down to like about a 4. That's like a medium high, and you're going to go ahead and let that cook. Now We might add a drop or two of water just to keep it, you know, from burning. So let's go ahead and add a little water. I say about 1/2 cup will do. That'll keep it from burning. And as the apples cook, they'll make their own juices. So you don't have to worry about, you know, that. But we're going to go ahead and cook that. And let's see how long it takes. Okay guys, your apples should still be cooking. I just wanted to show you what mine are starting to look like. So yeah, always get a spoon, stir your apples. But you see, I'll turn the light on here. Oops, I can't turn the light on because it's not plugged in. There we go. You see how there's a little bit of liquid in the bottom? You could add a little more if your apples are dry. See, mine are sort of dry. Some apples are kind of wetter than this, but if yours are drier like mine, go ahead and add a little more water. This time I'm only going to add about 1/4 cup because they're still in its own liquid here. Okay. They're almost covered, but not quite yet. This way we don't want them to burn and it's still on the low or setting. So and just keep your eye on them, watch them, because they're starting to, right now mine are starting to fall apart nicely. You can also put a lid on top to help keep the liquid in there, the steam in there. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, just put a little cover on top, and every few minutes come over and give it a stir and make sure that nothing's sticking to your pot. If it does start to stick, add a little water. Okay guys, now that your apples should be cooked, this is what they should look like. If you, different apples cook differently, so some have already turned into like an applesauce and some aren't. So this is how you check to see if it's done first. Is you take a fork and just press on the apples, and you see how soft they are. Now some apples tend to be a little harder than others, but most of them are soft. Like this one's a little bit harder than the other. That's okay. What we're going to do is, what I like to do is I get my flour masher or pastry blender, and I just take, now this is still hot, but I just take it and I go ahead and press it in there. This is if you like to have sort of chunky applesauce. Now if you want your applesauce to be fine, you can run it through a blender. That'll work too, but we sort of like the chunks, but we don't want it so chunky, you know, that it won't taste good. That you're like chewing and chewing, you know, it's supposed to be applesauce, so you just do that and get them all broken down. You can sort of bring it up. If you have one of these are so handy. You can usually find them even at yard sales if you can't find them in a store. And they do more than just pastries. So when you get it to about where you want it, I like to go a little bit more. Just like that. Now at this point, the only sweetness that's in these are the sweetness of the apples itself. You can leave it like that, or you could add maple syrup, date syrup, sugar, you know, whatever you decide to do. Cinnamon sugar is good too. Let's see, I'll go ahead and give mine a taste, tell you what it tastes like. So mine's a little tart with a little bit of sweetness. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little tiny bit of maple syrup. Okay, so I poured 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. I'm going to add that in there. That should make it taste good. And then I'm going to use a little bit of nutmeg and just going to do, I'll show you here what I'm trying to do. Just going to get a little pinch of it and sprinkle that in. Ever so little, maybe one more little. Just a little bit. And then we're going to add in some cinnamon. Let's go with, let me see. Let's try, I like cinnamon. Let's try 2 teaspoons. Now you can leave all these out, or you can put these in. Give it a stir. You see how it's still chunky? But we like the chunks. This is one of the healthiest ways to get applesauce. And I think it even tastes better than store-bought. I use a lot of store-bought in baking, though. You'll see a lot in my videos. Now, I still want to chop that up a little bit more. This is where I'll use the blender again, pastry masher. And give it a good mashing. Just like that. At this point, if you want to, you can can these up in little jars and put them in your pantry, and you won't have to buy any from the store. Or if you're like my family, we like to just eat it, and it'll last about a week probably in the refrigerator, if it lasts that long in your home. And you can always give it a taste and see if you like it. If it needs to be more sweet, just to go ahead and add a little more sweetener. Or if you don't want it sweet, don't add any. If you want it smooth, go ahead and throw it in a blender. But that's all there is to it. It's simple and quick. And we got a lot of apples yesterday at our local fruit market or vegetable market, and so we had plenty. It was like a whole box of them for $3. It was a $3 bruised box, they call it. And so that's how we got these. And even if you have crab apples, you could do the same thing with them. They're delicious crab apples. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this inside there. You can leave it plain too if you like just plain applesauce. You don't have to add the seasonings. So anyhow, guys, I hope you like this video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Let's plate one up real quick. So we'll take this and put it in a little dish like that. There you go. There it is. See? All ready for you to eat. Alright guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos. Stay tuned. Take care now. Bye-bye.